starting the episode off with some summer ASMR. That is my luscious... What does the word luscious mean? That is my iced coffee. I have no regrets. Now, I say summer ASMR because of the iced coffee, but I could probably do February ASMR with iced coffee. I could do March ASMR with the iced coffee. You know, I really don't... I don't subscribe to iced coffee seasons because here's the thing. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again just in case we have any new listeners. I mean, I was going to get into how I know, like, I have no listeners. I know I talk like I have listeners, but please, like, if you're hearing this, know, like, I know that there's no listeners because that sounds sad, but, like, I don't want to, what am I going to do, a podcast for nobody? Well, I guess I do that, but, like, I don't want to have one where I talk like there's nobody. Like, can you imagine if I, got real and was like, okay, hi, everybody that isn't out there. This is the Nobody Asked for This podcast, the 100th and 10th episode of me talking to nobody. And then just silence because that's what everyone asked for. I really knew what I was doing calling it Nobody Asked for This. I think I kind of was hoping it would become ironic. We haven't gotten there yet, but there's still time. The night is still young. But it's getting older, so we should probably get on with it. But back to iced coffee. I'm really going to try for this episode to really close the loop on every... Is it a conversation if it's just me? On every monologue that I start. So to finish the loop on the iced coffee, I do not subscribe to iced coffee seasons simply because someone who would shame me... Shame's a strong word, but would... Just to be dramatic, we're going to use it. Someone who would shame me for having an iced coffee in the winter, would probably still get a Coke with ice in the fall or the winter months. Just think about that. It's the same thing. It's liquid and ice. I have to say, I specifically remember the day that I figured that out, and I'm sure other people have brought that up, but I think I came to that thought by my own logic and truth. And I remember waking up and being like, I just won an argument. One day I will be in an argument and I will win. I have yet to do that. Be it with this argument or be it without this argument. But it was a big day for me. There's truly nothing like it. The feeling of like finding your comeback and you're like, oh my gosh, that makes such logical sense. Because it's the exact opposite of the feeling of knowing you're losing an argument, but like you've been doing it too long. Like you just have to keep going and defending yourself, even though you know you don't have a leg to stand on, So knowing that you kind of have that in your back pocket is good. It sounds like I'm someone who gets in arguments a lot. I don't. I'm incapable of arguing. One, because I'm a people pleaser, but two, because I don't care too much about a lot of things. So it's like, do I care to argue, or am I just going to choose peace? Choose peace, everybody. Listen, it's crazy. It's crazy. Stuff is crazy. Choose peace. I was at I don't know if it was like a Home Goods or a Marshall's, but one of those stores where I think you're supposed to go there with clothes, or like with clothes in mind, but I always seem to come out with snacks and candy. Because they have, for whatever reason, at those like Home Goods stores, Home Sense, whatever it's called, TJ Maxx, TK Maxx, if you're in Europe, they have the best snack selection. So I walked out of there with no clothes. Sorry. Let me clarify. I walked out of there having no extra clothing items in my possession than when I walked in. I kept what I was wearing on, but I did not buy any clothes. What I did buy was 2 tubes of hot sauce and gum that tastes like crap. Okay, not actual crap. And I'm not going to call out the brand, even though I probably could because no one listens to this. But I believe it's an aspartame-free gum. Cool mint flavor. It's in a pouch. I'm dropping hints, so like if you know, you know. It's aspartame free, so I think they're trying to make us all healthy, which honestly, haven't we all been trying? One sec, I'm getting a spam call. Fixed it. Okay. I don't know why I just put a piece of gum in my mouth when I'm mid-recording. We'll fix it in post. And don't worry, the gum is so bad it only lasts about 3 chews. You know, some gums you're lucky. Maybe you get 10 minutes, 15. You can stretch it to an hour. I once chewed a piece of gum, and by once I mean probably 12 times now, chewed a piece of gum so long that it like fully disintegrated in my mouth. And that's when I knew I don't really know. I don't know if I know what I should know from that experience yet. But I just knew at that point, like, something was up, something was off. That I wasn't on the path that I probably should be. So, yeah. There's that. Again, sitting here with my iced coffee. Oh, I talked about my blueberry syrup last episode. Let me add some to this. I love a sauce, I love a syrup, I love a flavor, love a dip. I think if I went to do a blood test, which I haven't done in a couple years, I should probably go do that just to make sure everything is all good in there. But I think it's going to be like 75% condiments. Some ASMR. Update on the blueberry syrup. I've probably I'm probably halfway through it, which with the conversion rate is about $7 worth of blueberry syrup, so I have about $7 left. Okay, let's see. I never know how much to put. That's probably good. Okay, yeah. Alrighty. And luckily, as we all know, all faithful listeners of the podcast know, I have a Tide stick, a Tide to go pod thing, also in my bag, right next to the blueberry sauce, so that if chaos ensues, I can fix it. Now, luckily, I am wearing a blue shirt, so mix up that sauce. I think sometimes I forget that this is not a visual podcast, so maybe not everything translates. I don't know what this episode is. Anyway, I hope everyone has had a great week since I talked to you last. I don't want to brag. This is a Tuesday that I'm talking to you. I think I should have added more blueberry, but whatever. This is a Tuesday that I'm talking to you, when really I I usually record on a Wednesday for this to come out Thursday. So I'm giving you 2 sort of notes on this. 1, I'm so organized. Like, not to brag, so organized. 2, second part, if something nuts happens in the next 2 days and I don't address it, it's because it hasn't happened yet. Now, this is not a current events podcast. In fact, this is the exact opposite of a current event. It's like events in my life only, that only matter to me, that have almost no impact on anyone else. So that's whatever kind of category that would put me in. Let me know. I basically just wanted to brag that I am essentially doing my homework early. So, yeah. I don't know if this is a common thing. I don't know if it's part of the Commonwealth, but, so I have a beard. I don't think anyone probably has seen what I look like. I have a beard. It's not great. It's not great. It's not terrible. I hear mixed reviews on the beard. But I have this thing where I love to like pick. I do it with my eyelashes. I'll do it with my eyebrows. Like, I'll just kind of be sitting, and I'm not even aware that I'm doing it. It has a name. I don't know what the name is, but yeah. I have a condition, I think. Not that I've ever been formally diagnosed, but like, I'll just kind of pick and then maybe pluck out an eyelash. Maybe, I'm trying to get like more wishes. You know how when people say like, you just have an eyelash in your hand, it falls out and you kind of pretend it's a birthday cake and you make a wish. Maybe I'm trying to get more wishes. I don't know. I don't know why I do it, but I have been doing it, and I do it with my beard sometimes. And then sometimes I look down into my finger. Is this gross that I'm talking about this? Sometimes I'll look at my finger and there'll be like a little piece of hair that's like stuck in the skin. So it's like not a sliver in the sense that I can grab it, but it's like almost stuck underneath the skin. It's like just like a little tiny piece of hair. Like it's not one of the big ones. It's like one of the small ones. Probably a piece of hair from the follicle. Is that a word? From the hole, from the pore that I had just picked out. So it's like a little, like a short hair. But they're ending up in my fingers. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you heard the bird, but the bird was like, we get it. Anyway, what else has been going on? Oh, so it's summer, as I've just discussed. Okay, for some reason, there's like little bits at the bottom of my iced coffee. Is that the blueberry sauce or... Yeah, I feel like it's like oily and it's not fully mixing. Okay, let's mix it again. You'll hear some ASMR. Maybe that's why I couldn't taste it as much. Oh, it's dripping. Okay. Get the Tide stick. This is very hard to do. Okay, I think that's a bit better. I did spill a little bit on the floor. Nothing like the time I don't know if I think I did talk about this on the podcast, but I was in a car. I was in my car. A car. And I spilled like a 1 or 2 large Diet Cokes. And I went to clean it up. I was driving, so obviously I'm not going to clean up and drive and clean up at the same time. But when I went to clean it, it was like dried. So I was like, oh, we're good. And then a few months later, my car started smelling. Long story. And I have blueberry dye all over my hands. But what I meant to tell you is it is summer. And because you needed me to tell you that. Like you couldn't just tell from the calendar or the weather. Or I guess different seasons are different depending on the place, right? Like it's not summer everywhere. That's always really interesting to me. Like there are some countries, regions, parts of the world where like the holiday season is like summer. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, see, after the shakeage, it tastes more blueberry-y. What I'm trying to say in this episode, in which I'm trying to close all the loops, is I bought new sunglasses. And by new sunglasses, I had never... I'm sure I had sunglasses when I was younger, and it was like, you know, the onus was on like a parental figure to buy me such sunglasses. Ever since I passed that kind of point in my life, I have not worn sunglasses. So, and I also don't wear regular glasses, just because my eyes are good enough. I don't think they're perfect. I'm going to be honest. I should probably hit up the eye doctor, you know, any day now and just kind of see if I can do that chart again and tell them like what letter I see, which side looks better. You know, I haven't probably done that in 5 years, which, let's be fair, like at least a year of that I can blame to the pandemic. But the other 4, I'm currently looking for an excuse, so I'll let you know in the next episode if I find one. But I haven't been to the eye doctor in a long time. All of that to say, I don't wear glasses, so I don't know which style looks good on me. And if we're being really honest, like, I don't really care. Like, if something has a purpose, like, if your glasses are supposed to make you, or help you see. Sunglasses, supposed to block the sun out. If there's a purpose, like, maybe you're not supposed to look great, you know? You can still participate. You can participate and not look great. I thought there was an episode title in there somewhere, but I feel like it didn't pop. It didn't roll off the tongue as nicely. Anyway, I feel like this is the year where I'm trying to not fix myself, but like I had noticed that I had been sort of like squinting a lot in the sun because it was really bright. And then I thought, oh, I should just get sunglasses. And like also I was like, oh, I should probably get sunscreen so like I don't burn. I don't really burn, which is the problem. Well, not a problem, but like, so I don't think of sunscreen, but it's probably still good to wear because the sun is wild. Like the fact that the sun is so far away. The fact that the sun is far enough away from me that it's the same sun they see on the other side of the world. and yet it can still do damage to my, like, forearm. That's nuts. That's nuts. The sun is probably, it's so powerful. All this to say, I bought, I think $15 sunglasses. I'm assuming they are a proponent, not a proponent, but you know what I mean. They were probably some inflation going on. So they're probably cost like 50 cents to make, but I did pay $17.59 or something from the grocery store. So that's how you know they're good. But I was having quite the trouble picking them out because I'd never really worn glasses before. Obviously, you know, when you go to the dentist, which I'll get to that in 1 second, but when you go to the dentist and they put the glasses on because they have that light in your face. I also didn't realize, or I've worn 3D glasses. I also didn't realize that there's so many different types of, like, actual lenses, in the sense that some of them, when people look at you, they see themselves, and then that's poetic. But then some of them, like, it's just like a darker circle. So I was learning a lot in that grocery store checkout stand. But the ones I picked, they look essentially like movie theater glasses that are, like, people can see. They're like mirrored. So, like, if someone's talking to me, they're probably just looking at themselves the whole time. Which I think that is probably a good reminder. Like, we're all so caught up in what we look like that, like, we're not worrying about what other people look like. So other people are not worrying about what we like. They're worried about, like, their own hair. So just remember that. Like, take comfort in that. I think we can try and change that and be like, you know, it's what's inside that counts, which obviously that is correct. But at the same time, if someone's going to not be focused on me and focus on them, I'm all for that. Less pressure for me. What I was trying to say, again, in the episode where I'm trying to close all the loops, I'm getting used to the sunglasses. Because I haven't worn glasses for longer than an animated movie takes to watch, which should be 90 minutes. I feel like movie times are getting a bit wild. Like, why am I spending 3 hours in the theater? I appreciate you trying to make the most of the $50 I spent to be in the seat eating, like, a bag of popcorn, but I got to get on with my life at some point. But I'm starting to get used to the glasses. So, if I was somebody who actively did social media or did social media for the Nobody Asked for This podcast, I would probably post a picture of, probably not me in the glasses, because that's just kind of not my style, but I would post a picture of the glasses. But just Google, like, supermarket $17 sunglasses, and you'll probably get a good idea for, like, at least the type, probably the brand that I went for. Anyway, mid-episode check-in. How's everyone doing? Are we good? Do you need some water? Maybe from your Awala water bottle. Did I tell you I got one? I believe I did 58 times. I haven't washed it in about 2 weeks, so I have to do that. I've actually put a ban. I need to wash my water bottle before I use it again, so I'm really hoping I get thirsty enough to the point of being motivated to do that. But when I was telling you before how I bought the gross gum that's aspartame free but lasts about 3 chews, I had to do that because I went to the dentist this morning. Now, I don't hate the dentist like most people. Or not most people, but like a lot of people. Even as a kid, I never really cared. I just kind of sat there because it really is, like, a great opportunity to take a nap. Like, especially, I usually go in the morning, but if you book, like, a midday, like, maybe you either leave work a bit early or you, like, go on your lunch break or something, like, you take a nap. Put those glasses on. You can hear that music in the background. Just doze off. Now, they do bring out, like, the scraping, which I personally don't love. I know people love it in the way that they love watching, like, pimple popping videos. Like, it's, like, I guess a satisfying feeling to hear, like, the scraping. I'm not part of that particular community, but, like, whatever works for you. But I have the worst taste in my mouth because they do that, like, fluoride thing. And you would think, like, you're going to the dentist, you're going to come out, like, clean, fresh, looking good, feeling good. But I'm tasting, like, my breath is tonsil stones. And I don't believe that I have any. Although, I am prone to, like, tonsillitis. Or at least was when I was younger. So, you can never be too safe. I just realized I haven't had a s'more this year, this holiday season, this summer season, and I need to fix that. Just wanted to put that out there. If anyone wants to invite me over for s'more, I guess that's not really possible, but like I just would like a s'more. I would like a s'more. You know, sometimes the thoughts I have on this podcast lead to 10-minute, I don't want to say rant, but 10-minute exposés, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 15 on occasion, but sometimes it's as simple as one sentence. I would like a s'more. Because s'mores are one of those things, and I'm all about do what you want to do. If you want to go to the beach and no one wants to go with you, go to the beach. If you want to go to a movie, no one wants to go with you, just go to the movie. You will probably look creepy, but as long as you're not doing any creepy behavior, you're not hurting anybody. You know, if you want to go to a restaurant and no one else wants to go to that restaurant, just go. Again, you might look creepy, but like as long as you're not creepy, that's like everyone else's, you know, that everyone else's problem, which again, everyone's worried about their hair. They're not worried about you eating a club sandwich alone at a restaurant at noon on a Tuesday, you know? Know thyself. But, ow, that was really hot. I just touched the hot part of the steering wheel. Also, don't worry, I'm not driving. My keys are nowhere near the ignition. I am parked, crisscross applesauce in the driver's seat. Really hoping that no one's looking at me because I'm wearing my sunglasses and I look quite weird. Oh, quick note on the sunglasses. I don't think this is good for me because I have this thing and I fully realized how much I needed to fix it when I met someone or I was somewhere and talked to someone who has the same thing where I don't think I look people in the eyes. Like I would say I'm like a friendly-ish person, you know, for the most part. But I'm horrible at looking people in the eyes. Like I'll literally look above you, I'll look down, I'll look at the floor, I'll look on your shoulder. Like I'm not an eye looker, eye contact person, which is a great weakness to say in a job interview because it's not like, because it's honest, but it's not going to affect your ability to do the job. So just put that out there. Whether or not that's you could just use that, just borrow that weakness. We can retire, oh, my biggest weakness is I work too hard. Okay. Like maybe let's move on to something a bit more original. Anyway, see, where was I going with this in the episode that I want to close all the loops? I'm being very conscious of that. Ah, yes, what I was going to say was, I think sunglasses are good sort of training for me to look people in the eyes without them knowing that I'm looking them in the eyes. You know, so I'm kind of hidden, you know, but I can be focusing. Now, if they're wearing sunglasses, that's where this kind of whole thing falls apart, but I'm trying. Again, we're bettering ourselves in 2024. Who else I think, or what else I think should better itself is my phone. My phone keeps sending me overheating messages, and it's just like, isn't that your problem? Like, does your phone make its problems yours? Like, hi, it's just, you know, hi, we're overheating. Hi, your iCloud needs to be backed up. That seems like your job. You know, that would be like me getting mad at my phone that I didn't send an email. Like, yeah, that's my part of this whole thing. I have to charge you. I get it. I'll put you on the charger. But like, then just don't overheat. You know, like you're called a smartphone. That actually must be an impossible thing to live up to. I feel bad for phones because yeah. Like I love my phone, but smartphone, I don't know about that. And I'm not trying to be rude, but because it is listening, but I don't know. Okay, I'm going to be 100% honest. It's been about a day and a half since I recorded that first portion. You know how I was bragging originally of how on time I was, how well I was doing with, you know, the schedule. I couldn't quite see this episode through yesterday. So I'm back on our regular Wednesday, still in the same car, sitting in the same seat, but nowhere near where I recorded before. That is the crazy thing about cars. like, you can travel so far, but you've really not moved. I think that there's a metaphor in there somewhere, but I can't find it right now. So basically what I'm telling you is I am back to my being late, last minute. Like, I tried. I can only be good every once in a while. But listen, I've done some of my best work at the last minute. Just ask any teacher who read an essay of mine ever. I've also done some of my worst work at the last minute, but I prefer to focus on the positive. If you know anything about me, it's that I prefer to focus on the positive. You know, I could be honest and say, sitting in my car right now, I am surrounded by cups and mugs and, you know, fast food bags that I keep meaning to take out. And I could see that as a negative thing. You know, why is there garbage around me? It's not that bad, but, you know, why is there garbage around me? Or you could say, hey, who doesn't like a little decor, you know? Put a little bit of pizzazz in the space. I will say, I went to vacuum my car the other day, which is like probably my favorite type of cleaning is car vacuuming, because one, it's an adrenaline rush. For anyone who doesn't know or who hasn't done it before, some gas stations have car vacuums. So you put in your coins or whatever, or now I think they accept tap. You tap your card. You have usually 2 or 3 minutes to clean the whole car. And the vacuum is essentially on like a big cord that is long enough, hopefully, to kind of reach every angle. So like you'll be parked, like you're getting gas on one side, but then you can then reach the cord over to the other side. You can get the trunk. You can get, I guess if you have a Tesla, can't relate, you could get the front truck thing. And it's like exercise because it's a workout, because again, it's a timed activity. Nothing I hate more than a timed activity, but for some reason I like this one. And then at the end of it, you get a reward. You get a nice, clean-ish car. So yes, is there a fast food cup on the car, or on the floor of the car? Admittedly so, yes. That wasn't English, but you know what I mean. However, is it pristinely vacuumed underneath, you know, on the floor of which that cup lies? Absolutely. And just as for an update, because it's been some time since I made this proclamation, I would still like a s'more. And I have not had a s'more yet, so I'm really starting to feel like I should go do that. So thank you so much for anybody and everybody who listened to this episode of the Nobody Asked For This podcast. I haven't checked the numbers in a while. I'm hoping they have like skyrocketed. You know, I try and stay humble so I don't look too often, but trust me, they've been humbling. So I want to thank you all. If you like what you hear, feel free to go to podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com. I believe that is the correct link. For a while, I was sending people to the wrong spot. Again, thankfully, no one was really listening, so like it wasn't really an issue. But that is the website. On there, you can listen to every single episode, all 100 and something, not to brag, episodes in the Nobody Asked For This podcast. You can also find links to our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'm going to be 100% honest. That has not really been updated. Our social media manager, me, was busy. And I know it might sound like I don't put a lot of effort into this. I put a decent amount of effort. It's not hard work, but this, you know, effort is exerted into the Nobody Asked For This podcast from myself. And I just felt like going extra out of my way to promote, in quotation marks, a podcast that I know no one's listening to. Maybe not the best, although arguably a podcast that no one is listening to needs the most promotion. I don't really know what I'm saying. I hope you all have a great weekend. It is, I don't know. Okay, I think the weather people are messing with me, which I've come to a point where, like, I don't even check anymore. And listen, I get it. I'm sure it's hard to track. I'm not actually blaming anybody, but like, I'll hear the storms are coming and the days end and I'm like, there was no storm. Like, I was sweating. Like, maybe the storm was coming from my armpits. I don't know. Or then I'll hear, oh, it's going to be a warm one. Get your sunscreen, which I need to get better at doing that part. And then it's like cloudy. So I'm just sort of living in my own planet in terms of the weather. do what you need to do. I hope you all have a great night, afternoon, evening, morning, whenever you're listening to this, and I will see you next time. Bye.